International travel. What happens in those airports, immigration, customs? Let's talk very quick. Just a few pointers. I want to share, or I want just to come up with, to talk to people who travel for the first time. I find so many people sometimes getting stuck on very minor things that could have been avoided easily. So this is for first timers, travelers. If you're traveling first time, or you have somebody who is traveling in your family first time, probably this video is for them. So first things first, when you are traveling, be it from first world countries or third world countries or wherever it is, as long as it's an international travel, we know that you get to book a flight, or you get to take a cruise, or you get to use whatever mode of transport you're going to use. But today I'm going to talk about transport. So when you first book for a flight and you have your ticket with you, you need to check what are some of the requirements that airline require for you to travel with them as a passenger on board their aircraft. So some people get very, very offended at the airport because they've been requested to remove some stuff from their bags, or probably they've been requested to remove specific items from their bags, and they just get so agitated and offended. But I would say that this comes back to the individual, because you're supposed to have checked your ticket, you're supposed to have asked, you're supposed to know what you're not allowed to carry. And for any reason that if you didn't know and the airline staff is telling you that you're not supposed to bring this on board, just comply or take it and place it inside your check-in bag. Easy busy. Yeah. So when it comes to weight, every airline, they got their own specifics. There are airlines that will allow you 40 kgs. There are airlines will allow you 23 kgs, 2 bags. There are airlines will allow you whatever amount of kgs. You need to know that. Try to weigh your bag at home to avoid inconveniences, embarrassments, and disappointments at the airport or check-in counters. If you did not manage to check to weigh your bag at home, at the airport when you reach, ask for the airport staff, where can I weigh your bag? Most of the airlines, most of the airports, they do have measuring scales somewhere near the boarding gates. The boarding gate, the check-in counters. Just go measure from there. When you measure from there, you have humble time to know, my bag weighs this much. Will it pass at the check-in counter, or is it excess? If it is excess, what do I do? Can I remove a few stuff? You have a humble time to do your stuff on the side. Don't wait till the last minute when you're at the check-in counter, your bag is overweight. The check-in counter, they're working with minutes, they're working with time. So for example, if you're flying to XYZ destination, this staff is boarding that flight. They have a specific time on that check-in counter. They don't have the whole day to come and start explaining to you, talking to you, doing this to you. No, they need to check in stuff within the stipulated time period that they have to board their passengers. Then after that, there's another airline taking off. They will remove all the boards and put another different name of the airline there. So you need to understand that. So you cannot go and start doing your business at the counter. You need to do your business away from the counter. So that is about the airlines. I said I'm just going to mention very few stuff here and there, but the subject is very wide. Number 2, now you go to security points. Security points, they check any items that's why they're called security, that can bring danger on board the aircraft. So you find things like scissors. Scissors will not be allowed inside the aircraft. They look at things like liquids. Now people say, oh, they're taking my liquids, just a bottle, it's, I don't know, 100 ml. But remember, there are flights that can carry up to 300 passengers. That is not even the biggest whatever. We can have flights that carry up to 500. You're talking of Airbus 380 or whatever. So if they allow everybody to bring in liquids, you can imagine if there is spillage and all these liquids start whatever, they don't know who's careful, who is not. So to be fair, everybody has to comply within that rule. You cannot be an exemption. If they exempt you today, they will exempt another person tomorrow. And the cycle continues. Before they know, so much liquid is brought on board, and you don't know like what's gonna happen next, what's gonna break, what's gonna whatever. So just make sure you have the liquids that you're allowed. And to give you a heads up, you need 100 ml bottles. If you have a perfume that is, for example, 120, that's a no to the airline, to the security people. They will not let you pass with 120 ml. You need bottles of 100 ml, and you're allowed up to 1,000 ml. So you can have bottles of 100 ml 10 times. 10 bottles of 100 ml. But you cannot say, I have 150, I don't have anything else, allow me to pass. No, the rule is 100 times 10. Whether you have 1 or you have 10, that's not their problem. Their problem is it has to be within 100 ml. So do you a favor, don't go with excess. Everything, put it in the check-in bag, let it go to the cargo. Now, you reach at immigration. Immigration, you need to know that I am going to this destination. What is required of me? Sometimes you find people at the immigration and then you just wonder. They ask questions and they're not even able to answer. If you're not able to answer, how will this immigration officer know that you know what you're doing? One, they're allowing you to enter into their country. So there are things that they're very specific. They need to know. Some of them, most of them, for immigration preparation, you need to know where you're going. Do you have a stay? Are you going to stay in a hotel? If you're going to stay in a hotel, you need to have those details. You need to have the hotel name. You need to have the address, and if possible, even the telephone number. If they have to call, then they will be able to know that, okay, you're going to stay in this hotel for this duration. If you're going to a relative, you need to know the details of your relative, names of your relative. How come you ask for your name and then you go like, that one tells the immigration officer something is not right here. So you need to know where you're going. And one major thing that immigration officers always ask is your return ticket, because you're not a resident in that country. You are a visitor, and visitors don't stay forever. They expect you to be visiting, do your stuff, business or pleasure, and go back home. So they need to see your return ticket. That's a very important document when you reach at the immigration officer. Last but not least, you need to say reasons for coming to travel. Why are you coming to see your auntie? Why? You miss her? Okay. Couldn't she come and see you? Or, like you need to have a reason, and you don't have to look like you're suspicious. There are people who get nervous out of nothing, You start getting nervous. I'll give you a story of a friend of mine who visited me in Dubai. And I don't know for what reason, he started sweating. And his hands were sweating. He's this kind of people, when he gets nervous, he sweats. His hand was sweating. He was holding a visa. He had printed the visa. So the visa was in a paper and it was getting wet. So the immigration officer took him on the side. You know what they did? They gave him a bottle of 1.5 liters water to drink, and they asked him to squirt. Why? Because they thought this guy looks suspicious. He must be bringing something that is not okay in this country. And they made him squirt while drinking that water. So if he's carrying any drugs or anything, poop, 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 they will come out, And he got so offended why he was asked to do that, because they don't tell you why they're asking you to do that. So you need to become, have your details, have everything that you need in place. Look organized, look somebody who knows what you're doing, and be composed of why you're coming to that specific country. Last but not least, let's go to customs. When you come inside, when you're entering a country, every country protects its borders, And there are countries that have gone so far in protection of their country that they wouldn't allow you to bring just any junk in their country or any bad thing, So let's talk of things like fruits. Let's talk of things like fresh seafood stuff. These are things that they get contaminated very easily. These are things that they can get pests very easily. So when you come, you need to know, does this country allow me to bring in meat? Does this country allow me to bring in fruits? Because there's countries you're not allowed to take in fruits. China, you're not allowed to carry fruits inside China. If they find your bag with fruits, they pull you aside, they take everything out, because they don't want to start a new way of they have not to start fighting pests, you know. I'm not gonna talk so much when it comes to that. Guys, don't attack me like, oh, they started this. No. I'm just giving specific and examples. Talk a place like London. London, you cannot bring in any food, you know. Even a place like US, I'm sure you cannot take anything. And even if you have something that is at soil attached, you need to say, I was in a river or I was in a lake and I have shoes that have soils attached. They might end up spraying that and disinfecting that shoe before they allow you out of the airport. So these are some of the things that you need to pay attention. So many people, innocent people, they reach at the immigration, they get so scared, they don't know the details properly, and they're so innocent, they're genuinely visiting and going back. And it is so sad. You see that person being denied entry because of a small mistake. They did not really sit and think. Like now, it's a requirement for so many countries, you have a vaccination before you enter into their countries. So you find that somebody just decides like, oh, you know, I will go, I was tested, I am negative. So I have the negative certificate to show I was tested within 48 or 96 hours. So I am okay. But there are countries now, the vaccination is compulsory if you're traveling from a different country. So if you don't have, it's not their mistake. They have a rule that has been put down. Any person from a different country, they need to have vaccination. So have that in place. So my point is, just make sure you have the documents that are needed. You have observed all the restrictions that country has put, the airport has put, and I'm sure your travel will be very easy and smooth and enjoyable, and you will not experience anything that will be degrading or anything that will make you feel like this was not right, you know. So I just thought I should share with you guys, share with your friends and families, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I'm coming up with so many nice videos in the future. Till then, God bless.